Music. Live from the Fever Stadium on the campus of Placer High School, Touchdown Productions, celebrating our 20th season of local high school sports television, is proud to present the CIF Sac Joaquin Section Les Schwab Tires Division IV Football Playoffs. Tonight, in the Division IV semifinals, your Placer Hillmen take off the PVL rivals Center Cougars. It's one game for a shot at the section title, and all the playoff action is coming right here, right now. This is your 20th anniversary NorCal Game of the Week.
The Placer Hillmen have earned one final home game this year at Lefevre Stadium. This time, a berth in the section finals hangs in the balance. But first, they have to get past one of their PVL rivals, the Cougars from Center High School. Good evening, football fans, and welcome to Week 2 of the playoffs. And we have a great one for you tonight. This is Steve Sitter, joined by Paul Brown and Gil Dominguez, and we are in place for this thrilling football contest.
And thrilling is right, Steve. These two teams know each other very well, and it just shows how powerful the PVL is when you have the two top teams playing for the berth in the finals.
Yeah, these teams played each other earlier this year on October 14th here at Placer, where the Hillmen took a late lead in the fourth quarter with a field goal to come away with a 16-15 victory, which at the time kept the Hillmen undefeated.
Right, I remember that. And, you know, in that game, Kerrigan rushed for 128 yards and Perez rushed for 69, but it was the big man, Robinson, who pushed the ball over twice for 2 DDs. And it seems to me at the half, Center had a 9-6 lead, and after trading touchdowns in the third, it was the Hillmen who finally put up a 3-point field goal and then hung on for a win.
And now the Cougars have their shot at redemption as the Hillmen continue to ride the wave of opportunity, and both teams find themselves one game away from the championship game against, presumably, the top seed 10-1 Manteca Bulldogs. There is a lot on the line here tonight. Thank you so much for joining us for this great playoff game. And with both teams on the field, we will step aside, and when we return, we'll get you caught up on the playoff grids for the local teams. So stay with us. You're watching exclusive coverage of Placer Hillmen football right here on the 20th anniversary season of the NorCal Game of the Week at touchdownproductions.com.
With nearly 30 years of proudly serving our community, Auburn Toyota is expanding to offer more new Toyota inventory than ever before. Chances are we have the exact Toyota model you want, ready for you to drive home today. With many years of combined sales experience and hundreds of new Toyota cars, trucks, 4x4s, and SUVs, now is the perfect time to buy at Auburn Toyota. Come see why for generations Foothill Toyota buyers buy from Auburn Toyota, which is why we like to say Auburn Toyota is the place where the customers come back.
Back at Placer High School, we see the Center Cougars getting warmed up on their side of the field. And before this game gets underway, let's take a look at the Division IV football grids.
So there you see the grid on the screen. Sierra and Center played earlier. You can see Center was victorious. They are the 6th-ranked team. They're beating the 3rd-ranked Sierra team, 29-27, in a barn burner that advanced Center to this game against Placer. Placer, if you watched Touchdown Productions last week, the number 2 seed beat Liberty Ranch in a pretty one-sided game. It 42-21. Placer, the 5-5 team, coming in looking very strong. This game tonight, I would completely forget about the rankings in this game. I think either team could come out victorious, and this Center team is going to give Placer all they can handle tonight.
Yeah, I couldn't agree more, Paul.
Back to you, Steve. Take a look at Division 5.
Yeah, Division 5 is full of surprises. On the top part of the bracket, number 1 Sonora, number 4 Capital Christian, both destroyed their opponents they're playing tonight. But down on the bottom, 2 big upsets. The Marysville Indians toppling Calaveras easily, 38-7. They move on. And Colfax, the 7th-ranked seed, took down number 2 seed Hillmar, 42-21. So the 7 seed and the 6 seed are playing tonight as well in Marysville. Who'd have thought a 6 seed would be hosting a second round playoff game.
Well, you know, Steve, we talked about Colfax when we did those games, and they were a very strong team. They had high and lows during the season. Some weeks they'd come out and there would be an incredibly good Colfax team. Other weeks, not so good. But obviously they had a big game against Hillmar.
Yeah, let's talk a little bit about last week for Center. Center chooses not to publish their statistics on Max Preps, which definitely makes it harder for a team to scout them. So we will get by on Sierra's stats. So even though, according to Max Preps, Center was the higher ranked team, they were the lower seeded team. According to Max Preps, Center was the number 43 team in the section, and Sierra was number 51. So a little bit of a disparity between the Max Preps seeds and the actual playoff seeds. It was still an upset, still an excellent game. 29-27 was the final. It was 21-20. Center led at the half, so it was a close game throughout all 4 quarters. Sierra was a very pass-heavy team. They typically average 230 yards through the air and only 80 on the ground. So pretty much the complete opposite of this Placer team, which averages 300 on the ground and 119 through the air. And as for Placer, last week beating Liberty Ranch 42-21, it was 28-7 at the half. And despite Liberty Ranch's defense averaging just over 15 points per game, Placer's offense was extremely dominant. They were 6 for 7 passing. Kerrigan and Rain Robinson both totaled more than 100 yards on the ground. The team had 407 total rushing yards, and both Kerrigan and Tosti averaged more than 10 yards per carry. So like you said, Paul, Placer's offense was just running on all cylinders the whole game.
They were using the whole team, Steve. Everybody got touches that game. Everybody was playing at the top of their potential. You know, tonight's game, and I'm just going to go out on a limb here, Michael Stoop, the sophomore quarterback, has been really maturing as the season has gone along. You and I have both mentioned that. And he's got a receiver that he really likes, and that's Hugh Hansen. Tonight, these two guys are going to hook up. It's going to be a big game for them, and that's going to be an important part if the Placer Hillmen are going to win.
Yeah, tonight's keys to the game for Center: stay disciplined, control your emotions, and don't play wild. You know every single Cougar down there is thinking about that game in October where they lost by 1 point. And that game, that 1 point, is the difference between tying for first in the PVL, which Placer did, and not coming in first place, which is what happened to Center.
Right.
1 point completely threw off the entire league standings, and everyone on Center knows that. They have to control those emotions, play with heart, but don't make the easy penalties. Don't give Placer more yards. Their offense can do that enough. They need to play a very disciplined game. For Placer, win the trench battles. Let Kerrigan and Perez do their thing. They both average just around 100 yards per game. If the offensive line for Placer can stay strong and open those holes and seal off those edges so Kerrigan can get those end runs, Placer's going to be in pretty good shape, offensively speaking.
I agree.
And really the number one key, this game isn't over until the clock says 0. Both these teams are capable of big plays. They're both capable of defensive stops, interceptions, forced fumbles, sacks. Really anything could happen, and big plays can happen at any time. So no matter what the score says, if the clock is still running, this game isn't over.
I agree. And, I'm going to ask Gil Dominguez now to back the camera up and take a look at the size of the field and all the players that Placer has. You can see they've got a tremendous squad this year, and that's a real strength for the Placer Hillmen. Now, if you'll pan over and you'll look at the size of the squad, Gil, of the Cougars, as we go over there, you'll see significantly smaller. A lot of their players go both directions, and I think that come the end, the fourth quarter, a game especially where there's a lot of emotion and a lot of adrenaline going on, if you got depth like this, it really plays into your hand, and that's a real advantage to the Placer Hillmen.
That's something that doesn't often get talked about in high school football, is the depth in the two-way players. Colfax is overcoming that same obstacle.
Right.
A lot of two-way players, pretty much their entire secondary. Everything from the linebackers back, those are all offensive players, and big offensive players.
Right.
So we'll see how Center can try and contain the numbers of Placer, which they did very well, just could not get past that 1 point hurdle last time these two teams met. So with all that said, we will step aside for the second time. When we come back, we will have the opening kickoff in the semifinals here at Placer High School as the Hillmen take on the Center Cougars. You are watching exclusive coverage of Placer Hillmen football right here on the 20th anniversary season of the NorCal Game of the Week at touchdownproductions.com.
It's the Black Friday sale at B&C True Value Home and Garden Center. Time to jumpstart your gift giving for the holidays with values in every department, from trees to tools to lights to Christmas decorations. B&C has everything you need to get the holidays going right. And don't forget their monthly bargains at B&C True Value Home and Garden Center in the Fowler Center.
Back at Placer High School, the Center Cougars win the toss and elect to defer to the second half. So Placer, barring some sort of fumble on the return, will have the first possession of the game.
Looks like we got Anthony Kerrigan, last week's player of the game, back on the right to receive the kickoff. And I believe on the other side, Steve, maybe it's Carter Bentz. I can't really see the number.
Ben's the only receiver with a touchdown on the season. That was last week. A line drive kick caught at the 20-yard line by Devin Tosti, and Tosti gets it out to about the 32.
Devin Tosti, a name we've been calling quite frequently the last couple of games with Placer, more and more a ball handler in the backfield. They will start with Devin Tosti in the backfield, number 13, and he'll be accompanied by Anthony Kerrigan.
That was certainly good hands to catch that line drive. Ball was kind of knuckling out there, didn't have a whole lot of spin to it. So it's a straight pitch back to Kerrigan. Kerrigan tries to get the edge, hops back inside, and he will end up being dragged down after gaining 8.
Good start for the Hillmen. I will never forget handing Kerrigan the trophy last week after the game. He was so pumped. He's not a real big guy, but I'll tell you what, he certainly has great wheels. He's a junior, 5'7", 155.
Smallest player on the Placer roster. So here's second and short. Inside handoff, and the Cougars sniff that up. Ball comes loose, and the Cougars have it. No, it's still loose. I think Placer recovered it, but they are marched all the way back to their 35.
Well, that was a hot potato there for a while down on the field. I think one of the Placer Hillmen went after the ball after Ellery had been kind of corralled by the Cougars, and it was knocked out again. So fortunately, they have now third down and about 7.
That's very fortunate. Center would like nothing better than to have their first possession deep in Placer territory. So from 2nd and 1 to 3rd and 7. Stuck back to pass, throwing across and caught by Kerrigan. Kerrigan hops back to the inside and dives forward. He will get the first down.
Well conceived play by the Hillmen. Kerrigan, the last of the 3 receivers out, went out for a hook, caught it, and was able to find his another maybe 5 yards to get the first.
Placer made it look a little bit harder than it needed to be, but they do get the first down conversion.
Well said.
They have it on their own 44-yard line. There's a handoff to Perez on the left side, and he is tripped up at about the line of scrimmage, maybe a gain of 1.
Another junior on the roster, Mario Perez.
And Devin Tosti is limping, and he is going to need to get helped off the field. That'd be a huge loss for Placer this early in the game.
Tosti's now he's down there. He's
stretching out his left ankle. And while we figure out the extent of the injury, we will step aside. You are watching Placer Hillmen football on the 20th anniversary of the NorCal Game of the Week at touchdownproductions.com.
Your car is one of the most important assets you own. And Reeby's Auto Parts is dedicated to helping you keep it in tip-top condition. Reeby's Auto Parts is a family-owned and operated business since 1956. We have a friendly and knowledgeable staff, and as a Napa Auto Parts dealer, you're sure to find the right part you need from either of our 2 Nevada County locations. You can always count on Reeby's to be there when you need us. It's Reeby's Auto Parts in Nevada City and Grass Valley.
Back at Placer High School, Devin Tosti was helped off the field. He was not putting a whole lot of weight on that left leg, so we will see if he returns to the sidelines. Meanwhile, 2nd and 9. Inside handoff to Perez, and Perez finds a bit of a seam. He will end up getting about 6 on that, setting up 3rd and 3.
So without Tosti, Steve, what do you think the strategy will be by Coach Montoya?
Well, fortunately, with the wing T, by necessity, you have to have a lot of runners. So between Kerrigan, Rand Robinson, and Perez, and even Hansen can get a few handoffs in there. It won't be a huge loss, but I think it'll be a worse loss on defense because Tosti is a great defensive end. Here's 3rd and 3, Stuck looking for the screen. Kerrigan, nice completion on the inside hook, and another 3rd down conversion on a completed pass to Anthony Kerrigan.
Well, he's got some moves, doesn't he? After he caught that ball, he was dead to rights and just made a quick move around the defender. We'll take a look at the replay here. You can see him. He catches the ball, Steve, and look, a great little dart move to get around that defender who ends up on the ground.
Yeah, it was not the typical curl route as he curled to the inside instead of coming straight back. And on that, Center will take their first time out of the game with 9:02 left in the first. You're watching Placer Hillmen football on the 20th anniversary season of NorCal Game of the Week at touchdownproductions.com. Placer has it in Center territory with just over 9 minutes left in the first quarter. Still 0-0, and the Hillmen still on the opening drive of the game. Stuck fades back, looks across the middle, and it's almost picked off by Zarin Houston.
Holy cow. That was a gift. That drop was a pick 6 for sure, Steve. He looked right at Houston as he was coming down and threw the ball right into coverage.
He picked that route nicely. Just couldn't quite hang on to it.
You know, if he had pump faked that, Hugh was gone.
Well, Stuck again. Looks like similar play, and this one is off the hand of Carter Benz, incomplete, and that brings up 3rd and 10.
Center is really on their game as on their defensive backs. They were all over both of those plays. He can't just look over and watch his receiver run his route. He's going to have to look off those defenders.
This will be the first 3rd and 10. Man in motion is Kerrigan. Kerrigan gets it, tries to get to the edge, and he's going to be brought down from behind after a gain of 5. So 3 third downs in the possession, and the last one they cannot convert, but it looks like they are going to be going for it on the Center 36, and now the punt unit comes out.
Yeah, that's a smart move. If he can get a good corner kick, he can really set Center back here from this position.
This is Josh Jacoby back on the punt.
Jacoby needs a little touch.
There's a Cougar back on their own 12. And it's a fake. Direct snap to Hugh Hansen. Hansen trying to fight off a tackle. He's not going to do it. Brought down by Jaquan Andrews. And Center takes over on downs.
You know, I thought that was number 21, Alex Mitchell. I don't know. Did you, what number did you see there, Steve? That's was number 15 on this for the Center Cougars.
Well, 15 was Hansen for Placer. He took the direct snap.
Right. I think it was Alex Mitchell, number 21, that brought him down, the senior running back. Good field position now, though, for the Cougars.
So a 4th down conversion fails, and Center will have it on their own 35. Back to passes, Jabali. Jabali Down at about the 40-yard line. That is incomplete, intended for Houston. That would have been a huge, huge pass on the first play of the drive.
Look at the size of him, though. That's Zron Houston, and we will see him again. Gosh, he's listed at 6'4", 160. He looks taller than that, Steve.
He does tower.
And he certainly was a lot taller than his defensive back.
And Jabali is listed as a free safety, not as a quarterback. There's a direct handoff up the middle that goes for maybe a yard. Placer stops that one. That will bring up 3rd and long for the Cougars.
This is what happens when you go for the home run on 1st down and it fails. Now they're 3rd down and 8. Probably going to have to go back to the pass.
And you can really see the difference in the number of players on each team. If you take a look at the sideline, center has about as many players on the sideline as they do on the field. Placer looks like they could field a couple teams. Here is 3rd and long, 4 wide. Slant, this is caught and diving for the 1st down, and I think he may be a yard short. There was Houston one more time.
I think he's going to be just a little short. It was certainly a good pass play.
No,
nope.
He's got it.
Sure enough.
Now, that is a really nice spot from the referees. I thought he had the knee down before he managed to cross the 45. Thought the referees don't agree.
Like we said at the top of the show, we don't have any stats, but I can tell you right now, Houston gets a lot of looks.
And center does like to spread 4 wide. There's another handoff, big hole for Jaquan Andrews, and Andrews will bull his way forward to the 50, gain of 5.
Andrews takes the carry to midfield. Tackled in by Trentman. Gain of 5 on the play, 2nd down and 5.
Oh, the Cougars putting a drive of their own together. Both teams starting at around their own 35-yard line. Definitely a different look from both these teams. Center spreading the field and Placer with the wing tee. Another handoff to Andrews up the middle, and Andrews is wrestled down after a gain of 3. It'll bring up 3rd and short.
Andrews brought down by number 30.
Beginning to think this is going to be a clock possession kind of game.
Well, we're already halfway through the 1st quarter.
This is Center's first series.
Both of us decided this was going to be a high-scoring game, Steve. I don't know what to say after this first couple of series.
Well, my prediction last week was way off, so I must just be having a rough month. Here's 3rd and 2. Handoff goes nowhere. This might actually be a loss.
Good defense by the Hillmen, led by number 35, Morphin.
And that is indeed a loss of 1.
Yeah, Morphin was in the backfield before the ball was even handed off.
And Center's punt unit will now take the field.
Logan Moore was right there on the tackle as well. So both teams have had a chance to touch the football. Both of them have gotten a 1st down. And now we're going to see another punt.
This is Josh Bradford back to kick for the Cougars. And this is not a fake. It's a nice high kick. Fair catch signaled for and taken on the 16-yard line by Hugh Hansen.
So Placer didn't have too much success throwing the football that last series, Steve. They actually stalled when they had a couple of incomplete passes. One almost picked off for 6 points. Let's see if they go back to what's been working.
Yeah, Placer 2 for 4. Both those completions were on 3rd down, and both those completions were 1st downs. Kerrigan in motion. Kerrigan gets the handoff, pulls up, and the Cougars get him in the backfield.
Not much going on there. Kerrigan not able to turn the corner. Number 2, Joaquin Andrews.
That's a loss of 2 for Kerrigan. He's up 2nd and 12 on the Placer 15. This is looking a bit like a repeat of last time these two teams met. Very low scoring, very much a game of control.
Definitely in the feeling out stage still.
Late handoff to Kerrigan now. And Kerrigan will try and hop to the outside, dragged down by Chris Bush.
Wow, Chris Bush really got him as he's coming around the corner. Last week, Kerrigan on that play was able to turn the corner, wasn't tackled, and was getting big yardage.
And that was actually not Bush, that was Jeremiah Bradford. Bradford listed as a wide receiver and cornerback, but a nice strong tackle. Kerrigan tried to stiff arm him off, and Bradford just hung on, so 3rd and 11. They're stuck rolling left, look out! Huge hit, ball's
on the ground.
Loose, and center's got it.
Wow, Michael stuck. He got absolutely creamed. Didn't see him coming from the left side and just put him on the turf. I don't know anybody could have hold on to that ball.
Yeah, it was an end blitz for the Cougars, and they got in untouched.
Let's watch the replay here and watch this. Like you said, completely untouched. The left defensive tackle just plants him.
The center takes over on the Placer 10. It's 1st and goal on the 10. Hand off to Donald. Donald on the left side, and Donald is in for a touchdown.
So Robbie Donnell doesn't take any time in turning the turnover into points. Nobody touched him as he went around the left side, and Placer is a bit stunned.
Yeah, really not too much to say about that. Nice design play, nice edge protection by the Cougars, and the Placer secondary couldn't get there in time. 2:53 remaining. It took almost 10 minutes for a point to be scored. And now we've got a flag coming in from the side.
Too much time, maybe.
Don't suppose that'd be the referee to make that call, though. That was the side referee. It's really lining up in the neutral zone. I'll make the extra point just a little bit longer. And Randy Dunn is the Cougar kicker. And it's blocked.
So good news, bad news for the Hillmen. Bad news, they coughed one up and it scored immediately. Good news, only cost them 6 points.
Yeah, Johnny Callahan got in there, blocked the extra point, and that's where we stand, 6-0. Center Cougars over the Placer Hillmen with 2:53 left in the first quarter. You're watching exclusive coverage of Hillmen football right here on the 20th anniversary season of the NorCal Game of the Week at touchdownproductions.com.
Hey, hon, remember the guys are coming over later to watch the game.
Make a play for winning trays from Portisets. We have the perfect tray for every game and every fan. So use your app or order online today.
Make Portisets your destination.
Back at Placer High School, the Center Cougars make the most of the Placer fumble deep in their own territory, and they now lead 6-0. Placer has had 2 possessions, both of which have ended in turnovers, one on downs and one on a fumble. Another line drive kick. This one takes a high bounce and is taken at the 20. And that, I believe, is Mario Perez. Perez will get it back out to about the 30.
I believe that was Perez. So let's see if the Hillmen, so far the passing game hasn't worked for them. They've had one darn near interception and a horrible fumble.
There's the reverse to Trentman, and Trentman will get very close to the first down. And I believe that will be a first down.
Number 42, Trentman. We haven't called his name much. He is the middle linebacker, but you know, with a limited number in the backfield, he's the backup that's got to be ready to go.
And Tosti is still being looked at on the bench. He is not on the sidelines. Quick inside handoff to Rain Robinson, and Rain Robinson is tripped up after a yard. Now Placer quickly up to midfield anyway.
Dylan Trentman's going to stay in the game, number 42. You'll see him. He will play fullback.
And Trentman is 5'10", 190, so he's
a big boy.
Oh, yeah. There's Kerrigan, cuts up the middle, has a seam, and he will get dragged down. Ball comes out again. Crowd is screaming for a horse collar. Placer sidelines are screaming for a horse collar. And everyone on center seems to think they came up with the fumble recovery.
Now, when we look at this on replay, we'll see he got stripped. Kerrigan got held up, and he got held up by his jersey. They maintained control of the ball. Fortunately, Placer did manage to fall on that ball, but Kerrigan, once he was held up, the center players are just working at stripping that ball away. They're not thinking about a tackle. They're thinking about a strip. That's good coaching.
Yeah, that's another Placer first down at the very least. Another bullet dodged by the Hillmen.
Inside handoff.
Yeah, late handoff to Trentman, and Trentman is dragged down again close to the first down.
You know, I'll bet you Trentman hasn't had a dozen handoff and carries all year. We haven't called his number, certainly. He's having some fun out there.
Trentman coming into tonight had 11 carries for 46 yards.
So there you go. He probably got in on some, some blowout.
There were a few this year. The 2nd and 1 for the Hillmen. We're inside a minute remaining in the first quarter. There's Perez, and Perez is brought down, but I do believe he gets enough for the first. Yeah, and they will move the sticks. Clock will momentarily stop at 40 seconds remaining. And Placer is inside the center 40.
Yeah, if I was Joy Montoya right now, I'd throw the passing playbook out the window, light that thing on fire, and throw it out of here. Their running game is working.
There's a pitch to Kerrigan on the left. Kerrigan again shoots back up the middle, and he's wrapped up after a gain of 3. And inside 15 seconds, it'll be tough to get another play in before the first quarter ends. Down to 8. And it's still possible. No, 3, 2, 1. That is going to be the end of the first quarter. So we will head to the second. Center Cougars leading the Placer Hillmen 6-0 here at Placer High School. You're watching exclusive coverage of Hillmen postseason football right here on the 20th anniversary season of the NorCal Game of the Week at touchdownproductions.com.
The Dive is the newest family-friendly restaurant in Lake of the Pines. Their entire menu of burgers, salads, and sandwiches are available for dining in or to take home. Featuring a selection of beer and wines, they also offer catering services for your next event with their new food truck, Dive on the Go. It's The Dive in Lake of the Pines on Comby Road and dineatthedive.com.
Start of the second quarter. There's Coach Joey Montoya on the Placer sidelines in his 8th year as head coach of the Hillmen. And Placer looking at 2nd and 7 in center territory. There's Rain Robinson. Rain Robinson trying to shoot back to the left, and he's dragging some Cougars with him as he goes down close to the first down line.
We've seen Rain a number of carries. Not a real agile runner, straight ahead runner, but powerful. Good guy to hand the ball to when you need an extra 3 or 4 yards.
Now we have a referee timeout as there's an issue with the sticks. Very close to a first down. They're actually going to measure this.
I'd say he's short by just a touch.
It was a great individual effort, though. And we've mentioned this before. Ryan Robinson is 5'11", 225. That's pretty tough for a safety to bring down. And it will be 3rd and inches for the Hillmen. Good news for the Hillmen. Devin Tosti is up and walking, at least, on the sidelines. Does not have his helmet on. When he got helped off the field, he was putting very minimal weight on his left leg, and we believe it's his ankle that may have gotten twisted or possibly sprained. And now the officials will make sure that the stick on the sideline says 3rd down instead of 2nd. There's Perez. Perez right side, big hole before he is wrestled down. That is another Placer first down.
Placer now on the road. They are looking for a score. Get this thing tied up or better. Clearly the offensive line of Placer is doing the job.
Very close to the center red zone. Another reverse. Kerrigan over to Trentman, and Trentman is tripped up after a gain of 4.
Edmund Jabelli, the senior, taking him down, number 11.
That'll bring up 2nd and 7. Kerrigan, the lone receiver. And quick handoff to Rain Robinson, and Rain Robinson is met by 3 Cougars for a gain of 2, bringing up 3rd and about 5.
Good drive by the Hillmen. Clock just keeps on ticking. Not a game with a lot of incomplete passes, and I don't think we've seen a penalty yet. Maybe one penalty there on that extra point, but this game's rolling right along.
Actually be closer to 3rd and 4 for the Hillmen. 2 wide. Center is stacking the middle of the field. And Stuck's going to roll right. And he's thrown to a corner. Up and incomplete. It took a while for the referees to signal. But Kerrigan in double coverage could not make the catch.
And again, all over him. That's Zon Houston out there. He's playing the free safety. He was on him.
And here's the field goal unit out for Placer. That missed extra point by center, meaning it's a 3 field goal game, or a 2 field goal game, I should say. And this would be a 36-yard attempt for Blake Van Dyke.
Certainly within his range.
Good snap. Kick's got the distance.
Nice.
And it is good.
Right down the heart. Good job. Number 32, Blake Van Dyke.
So Placer finally gets on the scoreboard. Took him more than a quarter, but they trail the Center Cougars 6-3 here in the 2nd quarter. You're watching exclusive coverage of Placer Hillmen football right here on the 20th anniversary season of the NorCal Game of the Week at touchdownproductions.com.
Thank you, Doug. Saving the whole rodeo.
Back at Placer High School, the Hillmen trail 6-3, but they do get on the board in the form of a 36-yard field goal from Blake Van Dyke. And Van Dyke set to kick off now for the first time tonight. Another line drive kick. This one will be caught at the 14-yard line. That's Jeremiah Bradford. Bradford finds a hole up the middle, and he's not going to get brought down until he gets up to the 38.
Finally, for the Hillmen, that's number 22, Rain Robinson. Morgan grabbed him by an ankle and just held on. Thank goodness, he was looking for some opening.
A pretty good field position for center. They started their last possession on the Placer 10 after a Hillman fumble. And it only took them one play to get in the end zone. Inside handoff to Donnell, and Donnell is going to be brought down in the backfield.
That play's going nowhere from the beginning and got worse as it went. Number 35 there at the bottom of the pile for the Hillmen. It's Morphin again.
Morphin made a case for himself last week for player of the game.
I remember. And he's a big old tall guy. He does the job inside. So does number 55, Logan Moore.
There's a loss of 2 on that play, so it brings up 2nd and 12. And this is a screen formation here for center. And there is the screen pass to Bradford. Bradford will be nicely tackled by Aiden Barnhart. And they will gain only about 3 yards.
Chase Laguna Scott bringing him down, the sophomore outside linebacker. He smelled that one out.
So a long 3rd down for center.
So let's see if center tries to go back to Zorn Houston. They are comfortable throwing the ball at him. Kind of guy, Steve, who plays above the rim. Just throw it up high and let him go up and get it.
And not a lot of tall backs for Placer. They're playing a prevent defense here. And there's going to be a delay of game.
Yep.
So 3rd and 9 becomes 3rd and 14. And Paul, you alluded to this earlier. There have only been 2 penalties tonight. Both of them against center, both of them just 5 yards.
8:16 left in the second quarter. Play being brought in, Logan Van Ripper.
And rolling right, flushed out, and he's brought down. Ball comes out, but this is going to be ruled dead.
Yeah, that ball came out long after he hit the ground, and they're going to call it an incomplete pass, I believe, so they're going to spot the ball.
No, this is a sack. This is going way back.
It sure is. You're right, Steve. And it's going to be 4th down, and they're going to be kicking.
That is an 8-yard loss on the sack. Well, officially 4th and 22. Center will almost certainly be punting here. There are 2 Hillmen back to receive, one much deeper than the other. Good snap, and the kick is a long and high one. This one is going to be taken and returned.
That's Hugh.
I think Hugh Hansen took a handoff on that somehow, as I believe that was caught by Morphin, of all people.
I didn't see that. I thought Hugh was under the ball. He has returned the last couple. You could be right.
That was a really bizarre run back, as whoever it was that took that punt almost got lined up on the reception. Still pretty good field position for Placer, their own 41. Stuck is going to roll left, Throws across the middle and again almost picked off, intended for Kerrigan.
They are swarming the receivers. They are far and away ahead of the game on Michael Stuck's passes. He keeps throwing it into coverage. He's going to get burned again.
Josh Bradford was in coverage. And he almost picked the route. He was a step behind Kerrigan on that one, but he got in enough to disrupt the pass anyway, and that will bring up 2nd and 10. There's a late handoff to Kerrigan. Kerrigan's got room on the left side. Gonna pull up and try and go back up the middle, and he spins away from Bradford and gets about a yard away from the first down.
You know, that's where Kerrigan is good, Steve. He goes around that outside, and then even if he has to stop and wait for things to clear, he's got that quickness and that speed. 2 steps and he's going at full speed. Really impressive player.
And Center's defense, to their credit, they are playing a strong game.
They are.
Usually Placer can get away with a couple stiff arms or juke away from a defender. These defenders key in on the ball carrier.
And they're good tacklers.
And Perez has a hole on the left side. He's got the first down and more. Center going for the strip, but they gave up about 5 yards to do it. Well, Placer moves the chains once again. They are 4 for 7 on 3rd down conversions, and we're only halfway through the 2nd quarter. There's Rain Robinson. Rain Robinson tries to cut back up, and he's tripped up after a gain of 6.
Big chunks of yardage again and again and again. That offensive line is winning for the Placer Hillmen.
Now 2nd and 4. Hand off to Perez, and Perez is met at the line. He'll maybe get a yard on that leap, but it's still another 3rd down.
So once again, 3rd and short for the Hillmen, although I'm relatively sure that Joey Montoya would go for it on 4th down from here.
Well, this was about where they
kicked the field goal.
Well, this was about where they did the fake punt. Rain Robinson, left side, shakes a tackle, breaks another one, keeps on moving, and he is almost to the center 20.
Rain Robinson, we know he's a bull, but in this case, he's a hungry bull. He was smelling that end zone. I think he wants what's been denied him most of the season, which is a touchdown, a breakaway touchdown.
Don't forget, he got over 100 rushing yards last week. 5'11", 225, and he got over 100 rushing yards. Another set of downs for the Hillmen just outside the center red zone. There's a pitch to Kerrigan. Kerrigan's going to try and get to the edge, and he's got a little bit of room. He is met by 2 Cougars. But still picks up 6.
Soren Houston, wow, that guy put a lick on Kerrigan.
They both just lowered their shoulders and
look at Kerrigan.
For hard contact.
There's Houston. You can see him. He's a fine player. Very quick. One of the reasons why the passing game isn't working.
Second and 5 inside the Cougar red zone. Here's Stuck looking for a quick pass. Corner wide open is Carter Benz, and Benz has a touchdown.
And somebody missed an assignment out there for the Center Cougars. Benz standing all by himself.
Throughout the entire regular season, no Placer wide receiver had a touchdown besides Anthony Kerrigan. And in the postseason, Carter Benz has 2.
Good for Carter. And you know, Steve, correct me if I'm wrong, I think that's the first completion we've had tonight for the...
Oh no, Placer's 3 for 5. Extra point is up and good. And Placer has their first lead of the night. They lead the Cougars 10-6 with just under 4 minutes remaining in the 2nd quarter here at Lefevre Stadium. You're watching exclusive coverage of Placer Hillmen football right here on the 20th anniversary season of the NorCal Game of the Week at touchdownproductions.com.
The Northridge Restaurant in Nevada City is your closest Northridge to Grass Valley. At 737 Nevada Street, the Northridge in Nevada City is a comfortable family restaurant you'll be happy to go to. Make reservations or take out.
With 3 locations to serve you in Nevada City, Lake of the Pines, and Penn Valley, you are just a few minutes away from a Northridge restaurant. Visit us online at northridgerestaurant.com.
Back at Placer High School, Placer set to kick off after their first touchdown of the night. There was a personal foul on center on the extra point. So Placer gets to kick off from the center 45. This is actually Van Dyke. He's going to be kicking it well into the end zone, actually hits the back line, so a touchback, and center will start with their worst field position of the night, their own 20.
Just under 4 minutes left in the quarter. Center needs to get some more points on the board. The only score of the night being on the fumble by the Hillmen deep in their own territory.
And this is only center's 4th possession of the first half. Single back, 4 wide. And it's a screen pass. Complete and finally brought down after a pretty big gain. Yards after catch. Pretty good there for center. And they'll end up picking up about 7.
Chase Laguna Scott there in the bottom of that pile.
That was Josh Bradford on the reception. He's certainly all over the field as well.
Bradford doing a great job as a defensive back tonight too.
I should clarify Josh Bradford. There's a Josh and a Jeremiah. There's a handoff to Jeremiah, and Jeremiah is going to be wrapped up, and he manages to get a few yards afterwards. He'll actually fall forward for a first down. He was hit about 2 yards behind the line of scrimmage, and he just kept spinning forward.
Looks like they're going to move the chains and give him the distance. Boy, Steve, what a pleasure to see such a well-officiated game. Not many flags. They're just letting the boys play. I like it.
And there really hasn't been a lot of extracurricular activity out there. I think a game this physical, you would see more of it. And off left side, sniffed out by Placer and falling forward for a couple yards. It was Jaquan Andrews who picked up 3. So 2nd and 7. We're approaching the 2-minute mark here in the second quarter. 10-6, Placer leads the Center Cougars. Last time these two teams played, the final was 16-15. We're right about on pace for a similar score. Houston in motion. He actually takes the direct snap.
He's got room.
Outside, first down, and he will run out of bounds at the 48-yard line. That was a well-timed snap by center as Houston took that mid-stride. And there are just so many ways that can go wrong.
So first down now, 2 minutes left.
And center did win the toss. They will receive the kickoff to start the second half. That's essentially how you want to time it. You want to have the last possession of the first half and the first possession of the second half. There's a handoff to Andrews. Andrews spins up the middle again. He's still moving. Moves the pile about 4 yards. And he'll be about a yard short of the first down. Now we are inside 2 minutes.
Great play and good yardage, but they're running out of time. They're taking an awful long time to bring the plays in from the sideline. They're burning every bit of 20 seconds between plays, and they just don't have it.
Yeah, Center's got 2 timeouts, and Placer has all 3 of theirs. This game has been speeding right along. Here's 2nd and 2. And a false start. Jaron Houston took a full 2 steps before the ball was snapped.
That play must have been to him.
Dead ball, false start, center, 5 yards penalty, repeat 2nd down.
There's 2nd and 2 becomes 2nd and 7. Another big penalty against the Cougars. 4 penalties on the night. All of them have been against center. There's where that discipline comes in that I mentioned pregame.
They need to stay alert. The Hillmen have a tendency to let their guard down in situations like this.
Minute 8 left in the half. And fading back to passes, Jabali. Jabali tries to set it down, and he is going to be brought down in the backfield by Guillermo Morfin.
Again, we call that name Morfin. He is a Power Ranger tonight because he's morphing in. I wish I hadn't said that. "38 seconds left. And they're not in any great big hurry to bring any plays in. I guess they're going to just go for one. They're going to be content to go in down 4 points here. They're going to get the football back, like you mentioned.
At this point, you may as well just take a knee. They're not going to take a knee. Down to 18 seconds. Bailey to pass over the middle. Has a man, and the ball comes loose. This is going to be an incomplete pass. And there's a late flag as Johnny Callahan and Joshua Bradford tie it up. I believe this is going to be a 15-yard penalty on Callahan with 11 seconds left. Callahan, I believe, threw a bit of a kick-in at the end against Bradford. And the referees are going to talk about this. This will almost certainly be an unsportsmanlike. All of Placer is back around their 20-yard line.
Personal foul, defense. 15 yards from previous spot. First down.
And with only 11 seconds left, that certainly is going to play well into the hands of center. On an incomplete pass, basically everybody had their head turned towards the locker room.
And in the NFL, this would be field goal range. This is on the edge anyway.
They're going to have to throw one up.
Yeah, there it is, picked off. Kabongo Scott with the interception. And with 4 seconds remaining, Placer with the first takeaway of the game. And center's been jumping Placer's routes all night. Placer finally gets one back. So with 4 seconds left, Placer leads 10-6. I have to imagine this will just be a knee deep in their own territory. And it will. So a wild end to the second quarter, and we head to halftime with a score of 10-6. The Placer Hillmen leading the Center Cougars. We'll be back with the second half here at Lefevre Stadium. You're watching exclusive coverage of Placer postseason football right here on the 20th anniversary season of the NorCal Game of the Week at touchdownproductions.com.
With nearly 30 years of proudly serving our community, Auburn Toyota is expanding to offer more new Toyota inventory than ever before. Chances are we have the exact Toyota model you want, ready for you to drive home today. With many years of combined sales experience and hundreds of new Toyota cars, trucks, 4x4s, and SUVs, now is the perfect time to buy at Auburn Toyota. Come see why for generations Foothill Toyota buyers buy from Auburn Toyota, which is why we like to say Auburn Toyota is the place where the customers come back.
Back at Lefevre Stadium, Placer will be kicking off to start the second half. They lead the Center Cougars 10-6 here in the semifinal matchup in the Division IV section playoffs. And the kick is up. That's a deep one. That will be caught at about the 7-yard line. Pretty good coverage upfield, though, up the left side. Finally taken down past the 30-yard line. So Center once again starting outside of their own 30.
As Joshua Bradford taking that kickoff. So center left us before the half. They were smelling the score, and it was denied them. Now we'll see if they can do something here at the beginning of the third quarter. Only down 4 points. Center 6, Placer 10.
Now we have an issue with the sticks on the far side of the field. Looks like we've got that taken care of. Yeah, that interception with about 10 seconds left in the half. That was a big momentum killer for the Cougars. There's the first play of the half. It's going to be a quick curl pass, tipped again. Intended for Jeremiah Bradford, and also in trying to make the catch was Mark Medina. He had a shot at it, but another incompletion for the Cougars, 2nd and 10.
Cougars had 2 opportunities to catch that ball that time. Both of them failed.
Pretty lax coverage by the Hillmen. Inside handoff to Donnell, and Donnell's got some room. He's got some room and some blockers. Missed a tackle and finally brought down at the Placer 30.
They're still going down there.
It's actually inside the 30. I thought for sure he got wrestled out of bounds. He's actually going to be marked down at the 26.
We'll see at the end of that run in the replay. He just stiff-armed somebody. The pile went down, and he just kept going. What a great run that time.
I believe that was Colin Wright who got stiff-armed off the tackle. But a great run by Robbie Donnell.
And we want to thank Dutch Brothers for delivering our hot chocolate tonight.
Yeah, big thanks to them. They're saving the feeling in my hands tonight. It's a quick curl pass complete and tripped up nicely. Aiden Barnhart was in on the coverage. He will take down Louis Bonds.
Except Dutch Brothers gave us coffee rather than hot chocolate. They can all laugh about this now, but there's something wrong here.
2nd and short for the Cougars in the Placer red zone.
If you want to know the backstory on the hot chocolate, they delivered it to the booth upstairs. The guys all thanked me for it, and I said, what happened to my chocolate? All right, well, I can get over it, I guess.
There's a keeper by Jabali. Jabali's got some room up the middle. Tries to use the referee as a screen, and he is down inside the Placer 5-yard line. That was a designed keeper by Edmund Jabali. And Jabali picked up some nice yards. It's going to be 1st and goal.
Boy, the Cougars have come out snapping, haven't they? Big runs off of scrimmage. Placer needs to have a good third quarter. They have a tendency to let down a bit when they get a lead. They don't have a lead now.
Well, you take a look at the scoring averages for both these teams. They're first half teams for the most part. 1st and goal on the 5. Handoff to Donnell. Donnell cuts up, and he is in.
Cougars score. Donnell going in handily. The defense needs to wake up for the Hillmen. Cougars get the football and go right down the field in 7 plays.
Yeah, they mixed up the offense pretty well, from inside handoffs to sweeps to curl routes on the outside. Placer really didn't know who to cover. So for the 2nd time tonight, the Cougars have a lead, and this will be an important extra point. But they're not going for the extra point. They're going for 2.
They're going to go for 2 and see if they can get a 2.
Donnell in the backfield. Jabali throws to the corner, in coverage, and it is caught. What a catch in the corner by Zarin Houston. Wow.
We talked about him earlier. He plays above the rim. Just throw it up there. No one can out-jump him, and certainly he's got a height advantage of about 7 inches on his defender out there.
So it took him 1:30, but now they lead the Placer Hillmen 14-10. You're watching exclusive coverage of Hillmen postseason football right here on the 20th anniversary season of the NorCal Game of the Week at touchdownproductions.com.
It's the Black Friday sale at B&C True Value Home and Garden Center. Time to jumpstart your gift giving for the holidays with values in every department, from trees to tools to lights to Christmas decorations. B&C has everything you need to get the holidays going right. And don't forget their monthly bargains at B&C True Value Home and Garden Center in the Fowler Center.
Back at Placer High School, Center Cougars fresh off a touchdown and a 2-point conversion that bumps their lead up to 4. 14-10 with 10:30 left in the third quarter. A line drive kick that will be batted down and then finally fielded at about the 15-yard line. And a lot of speed there by Cooper Wilkins. Wilkins busts up the sideline. One man to beat, cuts back, and is finally brought down on the center 40.
Cooper Wilkins, where did you come from with that kind of speed? Right up the sideline, just passing defenders as he went by. What a great return for the Placer Hillmen and a good start for their first position of this half.
That's a great way to answer back, giving up an opening drive touchdown. And credit to Randy Dunn, the kicker for Center. He didn't make the tackle, but he slowed Wilkins down just enough for a couple other Cougars to make the tackle. Dunn is 6'3", 172, and kickers typically don't take part in tackling drills.
That's a fact.
Though Placer gets to start in center territory. There's a handoff to Kerrigan. Kerrigan's flushed out. He's just going to go straight back up, and he'll be tackled for a 2-yard loss.
Yeah, that time they knew it was going to be Kerrigan. They're keying on him now. A lot of blue helmets in the backfield.
And Kerrigan, when he was in motion, he was running a little bit too parallel. He had to jump back a little bit to take the handoff, and that slowed his speed down enough for Center to get in the backfield. 2nd and 12. Kerrigan again in motion. Late handoff up the middle. That's Trentman, and Trentman will get about 5, make it a long 3rd down.
Hillman probably in 4-down territory here. Let's see what they can do with the 3rd down play.
Taking a look at the Placer bench, I do not see Devin Tosti on the sideline. Third and 9. Here's the pass, flushed out. Stuck's got to get it out, and he just does. He does not get back to the line of scrimmage, but there was a receiver close.
Oh, yeah, it was a screenplay that went awry. He was being chased all over the field. It never really developed.
And the punt unit's coming on now for the Hillmen.
I think that was designed for Kerrigan. He was certainly the closest receiver.
So Jacoby will be standing on his own 45-yard line. Houston back to receive for the Cougars. He's on his own 11. He's going to creep forward to about the 13. Good snap. And a high punt.
To the corner. He gets away with it. Oh, right. What a wonderful kick.
Very nice. That hit at about the 7-yard line. And the referee will now give it the 8-yard line. So a very nice coffin corner punt from Josh Jacoby.
Center will go back to trying to find their offense. Most of it came on a single run.
A single very nice run. And this is the worst field position of the night for Center, their own 8-yard line. There's a screen pass to the right, and that's caught by Houston, and Houston will fall at about the line of scrimmage. Maybe he'll get a couple. So a short gain on the pass.
That's a dangerous pass out there. Houston tried to spin out and get himself some room. If he gets that much open room, he's gone.
Placer's been playing very relaxed, especially on the corners. And I think Center is starting to notice. Here's 2nd and 8. There's the fake handoff by Jabali, and Jabali will be brought down. And this will be, they're actually going to give him a yard on progress, but good job by Placer not being fooled by the handoff to Donnell.
So he does end up getting a yard or two there, Steve.
And it brings up 3rd and 7. In the first half, Center was 1 for 4 on 3rd down conversions. For contrast, Placer was 5 for 8. A big 3rd down play if Placer can hold him. Looks, throws to a corner, and that is going to be incomplete.
That was pass interference, though.
Houston was definitely trying to draw the pass interference. There may have been a little bit of face guarding going on by Callahan, but no flag. It is an incomplete pass and brings up 4th down deep in Center territory. They will punt out of their own end zone.
I think Placer dodged a bullet on that one. I think it was clearly pass interference here.
There was certainly some contact, although it looked like Houston's arms were the ones that were straight out.
Number 8, Adrian Barnhart, was out there with him. And
so Josh Bradford is right on the goal line here, 4th and 6. And a nice punt, gets it off pretty quickly. It will hit about the 44-yard line, and Center will end up grabbing it at about midfield. Interesting decision there by Elias Bonds. It looked like that could have taken more of a center roll, but instead Bonds elects to just grab it. And Placer again starting a drive in Center territory.
Still 14-10, Center leads halfway through the 3rd quarter. Great night for football here at Placer Stadium.
Yeah, crowds have filtered in. There's Stuck, looking left, throwing, and that pass was deflected at the line by, I believe, Jaquan Andrews.
Stuck looked right at his receiver again and looked again and then looked again and then threw the ball. Needs to look off the primary receiver. He'll learn that. He's a sophomore.
Oh, yeah. We'll be seeing a lot more of Michael Stuck, that's for sure. 2nd and 10 for Placer. Inside handoff to, I believe, Perez.
I think that's Morgan Ren Robinson. Let's see as he gets up.
You are correct. Ren Robinson, he will push his way forward for 6, bringing up 3rd and 4.
I got to say, Anthony Kerrigan is one of the best backs we've seen in the PVL this year, in fact, in any league. When he is on his game like he was last week, more so last week than this week.
Of course, as you say that, Kerrigan leaves the field and
yeah,
Perez comes on.
But he is one fine athlete, good runner.
There's 3rd and 4. Ren Robinson, left side, has a block and has some room down to the 30, to the 20, and finally tackled in the Center red zone.
He's gotten a lot of touchdowns, but he hasn't had one of these breakaway touchdowns. I know that's what he wants. He's doing a job tonight, though, isn't he, Steve?
Another 3rd down conversion, and I think tonight Ren Robinson has been the best running back for the Hillmen.
I think he's getting more carries by virtue of Tosti being out, certainly.
There's Perez on the right side. He will carry a tackle about 3 yards and pick up a total of 5. And still looking on the Placer sidelines. Still no sign of Tosti, so I have to imagine he is scratched for the game. 2nd and 5, late handoff to Kerrigan on the left side. Kerrigan has a great block out in front, and he's going to be taken down inside the 10. Trevor Solonic clearing a path in front. And Kerrigan finally with some room to run tonight.
Boy, yeah, you're right. You got to give Solonic the credit for that run. All Kerrigan did was get on the back of his train and just follow him in. Great first down for the Hillmen.
First and goal on the 9.
Bad handoff.
Yeah, broken play. Rain Robinson manages to recover and roll forward for a couple. That could have been a lot worse for the Hillmen.
Be second and goal.
They're actually going to march this back to the line of scrimmage, so no gain on the play. And make it second and goal on the 9.
You got to bet that Joey Montoya will be tempted to just run Rain Robinson 3 times. It should get it done.
And there's Rain Robinson. Breaks a tackle, and he's in. Excellent call, Mr. Brown. And Rain Robinson puts Placer on top, 16-14.
Well, it didn't take any Karnak to see that coming. Rain Robinson doesn't put the ball on the ground either. He doesn't fumble. He's really reliable and strong as a bull. Hand it to him when you need the 10 yards.
Placer will elect to just kick the field goal. Van Dyke puts it up, and it is good. I thought he may have pulled that a little bit.
So we're back to a 3-point ball game here, Steve.
At 17-14, Placer Hillmen lead the Center Cougars. You're watching exclusive coverage of Placer Hillmen football right here on the 20th anniversary season of the NorCal Game of the Week on TouchdownProductions.com.
Hey, hon, remember the guys are coming over later to watch the game.
Make a play for winning trays from Porticeps. We have the perfect tray for every game and every fan. So use your app or order online today.
Make Porticeps your destination.
Back at Lefevre Stadium, Placer Hillmen take the lead once again, 17-14, thanks in large part to Morgan Rain Robinson.
Let's watch Rain Robinson do what he does best. There's the replay. Nothing fancy here. Just get the ball, put 2 arms on it, put your head down, get some room there right at the end of the goal line. Nice score, Rain Robinson.
The kick is away from Van Dyke. This will be caught at the 9-yard line. Room up the right side and nicely wrapped up by Mario Perez. And this time, Center could not get back to their own 30-yard line. 4:50 still left in the third quarter. There's a lot of football left to play tonight.
I got a feeling we're going to have a real exciting fourth quarter here. And you know what's going to happen, Steve? It's whoever can hold on to the ball. Turnovers always play a key role in these games, but if they can hold on to the football, I think Placer's got a chance to eke out a win here.
Josh Jacoby somewhat limping off the field. He's the punter for Placer, so we'll keep an eye on him as well. First down for Center. Uh-oh, flushed out is Jabali. And Jabali manages to put together a pretty nice run thanks to some offensive linemen who had the foresight to start running upfield. I don't believe that was a design play, but still a pretty nice gain on the quarterback keeper.
You know, he had the ball hanging out there, Steve. I saw he had it in one hand, and he was basically juking around, daring somebody to slap it out of his hands. But you're right, it was good for about 7.
Yep, 2nd and 3. Hand off to Andrews. Andrews will get the first down and about 3 more.
They like that left side for some reason.
Another set of downs for the Cougars as they approach midfield on their own 41-yard line. They clock under 4:30 in the third quarter, and this is where the time of possession really comes into it. Which team can wear down the other? More of a tight formation from the Cougars. And there's a pitch to Andrews, and Andrews is hit by a few. Placer Hillmen. First hit by Colin Wright and then finished off by Morgan Rain Robinson. That's a loss of 2. Big hit at the end there by Rain Robinson.
I don't see any sign of either one of these teams getting tired yet, though, Steve. We talked about that earlier, and both of these teams are still fired up. Championship football will do that to you. It's win or go home. Second down.
I'm down at 3:30 left now. 2nd and 12 on their own 39-yard line. There's Bailey, sets up, throws across and incomplete. A little bit of miscommunication. I believe that was intended for Mark Medina, but just not a very good pass as that hit Justin Carrazzo on the left side, and Carrazzo was not anticipating getting a reception today.
That was a line pass. They were passing that ball down the line, and then number 51, Caruso, the tackle, was going to go down and block for the receiver. Never really developed, though. He didn't get down there quick enough. And
no, just not a very good pass.
Yeah, neither did the ball, right.
So here's 3rd and 12. Bailey holds on to it. He runs straight into Logan Moore, and Logan Moore did not give up an inch.
Yeah, Logan Moore knew what was happening before anybody else did. He absolutely swamped.
Yeah, number 55, Logan Moore. Here's some comparison. Bailey, the ball carrier, is 5'9". Logan Moore is 6'2", 235.
Yeah.
He's not going to lose that battle too often. So center will be forced to punt yet again. 2nd consecutive possession that will end in a punt. And again, a couple Hillmen back to receive. Nice snap. And this is a high kick. This is going to be caught by Callahan, and Callahan.
How did he hold on to that ball?
I have no idea. I was looking for that to fly out of his hands. Zarin Houston
just put a wrap on him.
Yeah, he put his shoulder directly on the number 2 of Callahan's uniform. So officially, Callahan will get about a yard return on that. But I'm sure given the opportunity, he probably would just fair catch that.
Yeah, no kidding. In fact, he should have, with the defenders bearing down on him as close as they were. I think more often than not, he coughs that ball up.
I think anyone coughs that ball up with that much force put onto him. The Placer has it on their own 33 at 2:25 remaining. There's a handoff to Brandon Pello, who we have not seen today. Or excuse me, Chapman. He is he's actually a JV call-up.
Well, I think you were right the first time. I think it was number 7, Brendan Pello. Are they calling Chapman's name on that number now?
They are. They are, with the lack of jerseys. Some of the JV players have usurped the varsity numbers. Another reverse Kerrigan inside for Trentman, and Trentman will fall about a yard short of the first down.
So with 3rd down now, a big 3rd down play here. If center was able to hold, they would definitely force a punt.
1:30 left.
Joey Montoya is a strategic guy, but he's not that kind of a riverboat gambler. He will not go on 4th down if they don't make this.
He's already tried the fake punt once tonight, and it did not quite work.
There's Rain Robinson.
And Rain Robinson has some room on the left side. And a nice tackle at the end by Jeremiah Bradford to upend the big Rain Robinson, but another 3rd down conversion for Placer. They are now 7 of 11 on 3rd down conversions tonight.
So, Gil Dominguez, if you would focus down on Rain Robinson in the huddle there, you'll see what they call chevrons. They put them on the helmet for different things, fumbles, tackles, touchdowns, and so forth.
Well, he's got a lot of them.
He's got so many of them, you can't see his helmet. There he is again.
Yeah, Rain Robinson trying to cut back left, but hole never opened up through the middle. So
now there's big Rain. Now look at Rain's helmet. You can see on both sides, all the way about the back. Generally what they'll do is they'll have a team meeting and they'll give these things out. He clearly has the most I see any place on that field.
Joey Capra, one of the linemen, 6'3", 245, sophomore, comes close. Oh, there's the fumble. And I believe Placer managed to recover. That was a late handoff to Trentman, and that ball bounced in and out of the hands of Trentman. But he managed to fall on it at the line of scrimmage, so that will be 3rd and 8 for Placer. We're inside 5 seconds. In fact, that will be the final play of the 3rd quarter. And we will head to the final 12 minutes of football that Lefevre Stadium will see this year.
Do not go away. This is going to be fireworks.
Placer leads 17-14 with 1 quarter left in regulation over the Center Cougars. You're watching exclusive coverage of Placer Hillmen postseason football right here on the 20th anniversary season of the NorCal Game of the Week at touchdownproductions.com.
The Dive is the newest family-friendly restaurant in Lake of the Pines. Their entire menu of burgers, salads, and sandwiches are available for dining in or to take home. Featuring a selection of beer and wines, they also offer catering services for your next event with their new food truck, Dive on the Go. It's The Dive in Lake of the Pines on Comby Road and dineatthedive.com.
Back at Lefevre Stadium, the 4th quarter underway. Here's 3rd and 8. And Stuck fading back. Flushed out, still up. Gets it away, and it's complete to Trentman. Trentman breaks free. He's still going to be about a yard short of the first down. But what a that was not the way that play was designed. And just a yard short. And now Coach Montoya has a decision, 4th and 2.
Well, we're, I think, inside that gray area, I think, where he will actually go for it. Although his defense has been working pretty darn well, Steve. You don't want to hand this center team back the football.
It's a gamble for sure. Placer is only...
But you got Rain Robinson in the backfield. I mean, have they held him yet?
Oh, yes. And they will try it again. Rain Robinson bounces to the outside, and he leans forward. He's got it.
Let's see where they spot it. Yes, they're going to clearly give him the spot.
Rain Robinson just puts his head down, and a big 4th down conversion for the Hillmen. They retain possession and keep marching downfield.
You know, the story of the game so far, Steve, is Rain Robinson and them not being able to stop him.
Yeah, he's really been the only breakout player tonight, I think.
We've got the Bill Slade and Sons Trucking Player of the Game Award we give out. Beautiful trophy that we'll give out on the field directly after the game. And I'll tell you what, his name is definitely up there for that award.
New set of downs. Inside handoff to Rainer Robinson. Rainer Robinson is gang tackled by just about every Cougar on the field, but he still picks up 5.
Ryan Robinson brought down the 29-yard line.
Both of these teams playing to play next Saturday night in Stockton for the championship.
And we have an official timeout. I believe this is... Oh, they're talking about the photographers, moving the photographers away from the sideline downfield. That's playoff football for you. Clock continuing to run down. A touchdown here for Placer would make it a 2-possession game. And that's really the cushion they would need. A field goal would still make it 6 points. There's Chapman, and Chapman tries to cut back up the middle, and he's very close to the first down. I believe he's short by a yard. And he will be short by a yard.
Placer just needs to hold on to the football. These kind of drives are exactly what they're looking for. Burn a bunch of clock, march down the field, hopefully get a score.
Here's 3rd and 1. There's Perez, and Perez might be stopped.
He is stopped. In fact, he may have lost a yard.
Well, they're going to give him a little bit on forward progress. But this will be very close. This will be very close, and he will be short a yard. So if they went for it on 4th and 2, they're certainly going to go for it on 4th and 1 deeper in center territory. They're on the 25-yard line. Perez, Rain Robinson in the backfield. It's Rain Robinson on the left. He's got a hole, and he's going to be dragged down a yard past the first down line. Another 4th down conversion for the Hillmen. Means the clock will continue to run. They haven't moved the sticks yet. Now the referees are going to talk about it, and they are actually going to measure this. I thought that was past the line for sure. Well, this might not be the 4th down conversion we all assumed it was.
It is.
Not even close. That's by about a full yard right there.
So now the Center Cougars have definitely got their backs against the wall. They're only down by 3 points, but they really haven't shown the kind of explosive offense that scores quickly.
And more than that, their defense really hasn't made a stand at all. They made a stand on the first possession of the second half that Placer had, but after that.
Yep, that's true, but that was before Joey Montoya found out that they couldn't stop Rain Robinson.
Well, Rain Robinson is in the backfield, and this will be a fake to Perez, and Kerrigan on the outside. Kerrigan's got a block, hops forward, and is tripped up at about the 10-yard line, and again, Trevor Solotic leading the way.
Boy, Solotic really does a good job clearing out, doesn't he?
Absolutely. When he pulls out from the line and just
he gets a
moves
block
forward.
You bet. He gets the block that he needs to break his runner.
There's a Cougar down. That's Jeremiah Bradford. He is helped up, and he'll have to come off the field as the referees stopped the clock for him.
There's a penalty against Placer.
So that's the first, if you can believe that, first holding penalty of the game.
Wow.
That'll back Placer up 10. Actually, the first 10-yard penalty of the game. There's been 5s and 15s, but no 10s.
So it stops the momentum. The clock continues to run.
It's only the second Placer penalty, the first being a personal foul on Johnny Callahan. Here's 1st and 14. The inside handoff will get close to the original line of scrimmage. That was, I believe, Perez, and that brings up 2nd and about, call it 12. Clock marching towards 8 minutes. And we haven't really mentioned this, but Trentman has really stepped up as a runner now that Tosti is out of the game. 2nd and 12, stuck, looking right. Looks back up the middle, gets it off, and it's complete to Kerrigan, and Kerrigan is fighting with Josh Bradford down on the sidelines. He's eventually tackled. Short gain of about 5. And that brings up 3rd and close to 8. Now you're in a pretty long field goal territory.
I think that might be a very big option, though, if they were to get stopped on this play. If they find themselves, say, on the 20-yard line, I think he'll definitely go in and try to pop one through.
Well, they're on the 21 right now. It's 3rd and a lot. And it's going to be a pass. Stuck, looking left. Going to the corner. And it's up, and it
intercepted.
Is picked off.
And that is Houston out there.
Of course it is.
They pick one off. They're going to be on the 1-yard line, unfortunately.
Maybe. If he came down in the end zone.
That's where they're going to spot it, Steve. It may even be the 1-foot-yard line. Let's see.
You're absolutely right.
And they're going to back them up. It's not what the Hillmen were looking for. They were looking for a score. I'm not sure why he would throw the ball high out there in Houston's area. That was just tailor-made for Houston to come down with.
Yeah, this is the 1 yard line. And there's a quick pass, batted down at the line.
They're looking out there at Houston again. Zarin Houston, one of their dangerous players if they can get the ball in his hands.
And it's a gutsy call when you're on your own 1 yard line to go for a pass. That was supposed to be a quick slant play, but good line penetration by Placer. Knocked that ball down. That was 2nd and 10. And another pass.
Same play.
Yep, to Houston, and Houston's knocked down. He's going to be tackled at about the 5, so gained about 4, and that brings up 3rd and long for Center. And Center on the night is just 1 for 6 on 3rd down conversions.
Clock now becoming a factor. 6:51 in the 4th quarter here. Center really doesn't want to punt this ball away. I mean, I'm stating the obvious, but the bottom line is they need to do something right now this series.
Even getting a few yards further out so that Josh Bradford doesn't have to be standing on the back line. There it is going long. Throws out the middle, and it's caught.
What a great catch.
Josh Bradford with a big completion. Trentman tried to hit him hard and knock it loose, but could not do so.
And Brandon Leslie that time got to be given credit. He threw to a spot. He threw to a place that his receiver was yet to get to, knowing that he was going to turn in, and what a great pass and catch. That may be the pass and catch of the game so far.
I'm also fairly certain that Edmund Jabali is the...
We're going to come back to that replay after this play.
6 minutes left. And there's a handoff, a slant handoff to Andrews. Andrews throws Johnny Callahan to the ground. Big stiff arm there. They'll pick up about 6.
Let's go back to that replay from the last play. Let's watch Leslie deliver a perfect pass in the only place that he can throw it, where his receiver can actually get the ball, threads it behind one and in front of another defender. Fabulous play and a season-continuing play for the Center Cougars.
There's 2nd and 5. Man in motion, Jabali's got it. Screen pass caught and slammed to the ground. Nice protection inside by the Hillmen. That'll actually be a loss of yards and bring up 3rd and 9. Another 3rd and long play for Center in their own territory. Trailing in the 4th quarter, 5 minutes left.
So now they're at another one of these critical 3rd down plays, 9 yards they need. Really don't have the option to go on a 4th down play in this field position.
You got to rest on your defense.
They're going to go out to Zarn Houston. You watch.
Houston is wide on the right side. Flushed out and he's sacked.
Big sack.
And
inside.
Who was it? Morgan Rain Robinson.
Who is it again? Rain Robinson, the man of the hour, the man of the game. He's doing it on offense, and now he's doing it on defense.
As the clock continues to run down at the 4:15 mark, the Center punt unit goes on the field, and Center has to make the stop.
So Rain Robinson really having a field day tonight. Fun to watch. We'll watch the punt now.
There is no one back for Placer, just in case this is a fake. It's a good snap, and the kick is off. It is a long punt.
Holy cow, look at this thing.
That hits at the 35 and will be caught by Jeremiah Bradford at the 34-yard line. So Placer, if they can hold on to the ball, get a few first downs, they can move on to the championship game next Saturday. It's all in the hands of the Placer offense.
And you said it, Steve. They got to hang on to that football. Can't be putting the ball on the ground. They're only up by 3 points. And lots of time left, 3 minutes and 40 seconds.
And how about that protection? An extremely late handoff to Kerrigan.
The ball's on the ground.
No, they're calling it dead. They're calling it dead. But still, how about that? A loss of 7.
That's a very unusual call in my mind. You need to go straight forward with Rain Robinson and just grind out first down after first down.
And just from up here, it looked like a Cougar had lined up in the neutral zone, had jumped the snap. But there was no flag on the play. So big loss for Placer. So we are inside 3 minutes. And there's Kerrigan on the right side. Kerrigan hit hard. There's a bunch of holding flags coming in, as I believe Elias Bonds made the huge initial contact. And this was very clearly a hold. May have even been 2 holds on the play.
So the real question is now they're going to back them up even more. It'll be
or take the loss of downs. It would still be 3rd and about 14.
Yeah, every bit of.
If I'm center, I just take the loss of downs.
The scoreboard says 2nd and 17. They're going to take the yardage. I'm not sure why they're doing this.
Second down.
But that is, they've decided to give the Hillmen an extra down with just 3 minutes on the clock. They do have all their timeouts. Both teams have all their timeouts, so it wouldn't be a bad time to take one here if you were center at the end of this play.
Yeah, the clock continues to run. Now approaching 2:30. Now quickly to the line. Quick inside handoff to Rain Robinson. Rain Robinson is dragged down, but he gets outside the 20, only about 4 yards on the play.
And there is the center timeout.
Center does take the timeout. It will be 3rd and about 21 when we come back for the Placer Hillmen. They lead 17-14 here at Lefevre Stadium. We're watching exclusive coverage of Placer Hillmen football here on the 20th anniversary season of the NorCal Game of the Week at touchdownproductions.com.
With nearly 30 years of proudly serving our community, Auburn Toyota is expanding to offer more new Toyota inventory than ever before. Chances are we have the exact Toyota model you want, ready for you to drive home today. With many years of combined sales experience and hundreds of new Toyota cars, trucks, 4x4s, and SUVs, now is the perfect time to buy at Auburn Toyota. Come see why for generations Foothill Toyota buyers buy from Auburn Toyota, which is why we like to say Auburn Toyota is the place where the customers come back.
Back at Lefevre Stadium, here's 3rd and forever. Late handoff to Trentman. Trentman's got some room to run. He's actually going to get outside the 30. He'll pick up about 12 on the run. And center will take their 2nd timeout, as that huge 3rd down, that was not going to be converted. It'll actually be 4th and 12.
So the Hillmen will be forced to punt the football. They'll rally around Coach Montoya. They'll talk about this, but they're going to punt the football, no doubt. Center with 1 timeout left. We don't have a clue whether they have a field goal kicker. We're the ding-dong. We don't know.
Well, Randy Dunn is their only place kicker, and we've only seen him kick line drives.
That's true. We've only seen him on the kickoff kick line drive. So,
and the 1 extra point that was blocked.
Do they have somebody they could put out there that could conceivably tie this game up?
If I had to guess, I'd say that answer is no, unless they're inside the 10-yard line. So 4th and 12. Josh Jacoby is in to punt. There's Aaron Houston back to receive. He's standing on his own 30. And if you're Jacoby, you might even try a rugby-style kick. Get this ball on the ground. Run some time off. And Center's going in for the block attempt, and they're not going to get it. And a nice kick. That's going to hit at the 27, roll inside the 20.
Wow. What a kick.
That was an excellent kick.
Just when they needed it most. He launches a kick that goes about 56 yards.
And perfectly placed away from Houston, so Houston couldn't catch it on the run. He had to let it drop, and it took an excellent Placer bounce and roll. This will actually be inside the 20. This will be spotted on the 19-yard line.
So we have the murmurs going through the crowd here. The people, it's going to be another nail biter here at the Hillmen Stadium.
2:04 left. And a quick screen pass to the right is complete. And Placer stopped their momentum, so the clock will continue to run. Pass was caught by Jeremiah Bradford. And that is a gain of about 5. Now we're about 140.
They need to have a little more, greater sense of urgency there in that hole. They need to call 2 plays and get it off.
Absolutely. Actually a gain of about 6, so you're 2nd and 4. Another pass to Bailey. Screen complete. Josh Bradford has it. There's a flag coming in from the far judge. Now he launched that flag about 25 yards. That would be a first down, provided there's no penalty against Center. That placement of that flag, that can only be either a hold or a chop block. That pretty much has to be against Center.
They're going to talk about it. This is going to be against Placer, or they're going to pick it up.
No, that's against Center. No,
they're
picking it up. Wow.
Good for them. That's what I like. A crew that talks to each other that says this is an impactful call, isn't real, and they pick the flag up.
So they set the sticks. Clock is momentarily stopped at 1:22. And now it will continue to run. Bailey looking right. Throws right and incomplete, intended for Jeremiah Bradford. Now we'll stop the clock at 1:13. And Center has 60 yards to go in just over a minute. Paul, do you remember my #1 key to the game?
I do remember, Steve. Remind us.
#1 key to the game tonight. This game isn't over until the clock says 0. 2nd and 10 for the Cougars. Bailey looking left. Throwing left, complete to Bradford. And dragged down, finally, by Kabongo Scott. Another first down stops the clock at 1:05. They are in Placer territory on the 48.
I got a feeling they're going to throw one up for grabs for Houston. Look for Houston on the far right. They've got him on a one-on-one out there.
Yeah, he's the top receiver on your screen.
They're going to run the ball.
That's a handoff. Big hole on the left side. Robbie Donnell slides down at about the 30.
He fell down, or he had a touchdown. He slipped. Feet went out from under him.
Clock stopped at 54 seconds.
They're moving it again. That was an excellent call by Center. Everybody in the stadium thought they were going to throw.
And the offensive line really pushed the Placer defensive line back to open that up, and Placer's going to take a timeout.
Joey Montoya wants to stop the momentum, and I don't blame him.
And the defense was not in position. Colin Wright was late getting on the field, so Placer takes their first timeout. 45 seconds left, and the Cougars have it on the Placer 31-yard line. You're watching exclusive coverage of Placer Hillmen football here on the 20th anniversary season of the NorCal Game of the Week at touchdownproductions.com.
It's the Black Friday sale at B&C True Value Home and Garden Center. Time to jumpstart your gift giving for the holidays with values in every department, from trees to tools to lights to Christmas decorations. B&C has everything you need to get the holidays going right. And don't forget their monthly bargains at B&C True Value Home and Garden Center in the Fowler Center.
Back at Lefevre Stadium, Coach Montoya trying to get some life back into this Placer defense that has given up some big yard plays to the Center Cougars. 45 seconds left in regulation. And the Cougars trail by 3. They have 1st and 10 on the Placer 31-yard line.
So in their pocket, they still have 1 timeout. That would be the Center Cougars. And now Placer has got to hold them for 45 more seconds to make a trip to the championship.
Jabali looking right, steps up, flushed out. He's got some room on the right, and he's going to take it himself. He's just going to run out of bounds. He'll pick up about 7. That stops the clock at 37 seconds. Still a pretty nice pickup from Edmund Jabali.
And he gets out of bounds too, so worked all the way around. Now, if they have a field goal kicker, Steve, we're starting to get into that kind of range.
Well, the long snapper is practicing on the center sidelines. No word on a kicker, but the snapper is getting warm. There's 2nd and 4. Jabali looking left, rolling out. He's got some room. He's motioning for the end zone, and he's just going to run out of bounds. I believe he got the first down, but there's a late flag. There is a very late flag from the head referee.
And I think they're going to get a hold. They're talking to the referee, number 50.
That's Gabriel Bartkowski.
What is this?
Holding center. 10-yard penalty.
And that is Center's first penalty of the second half. So instead of a first down, that moves Center back all the way to the 37-yard line.
That was on number 51, Cazzaro.
So 29 seconds left. 2nd and 15. Looking right, complete to Bradford. Bradford trying to get to the sidelines, and he will. He's tackled as he goes out of bounds.
And they're looking for a flag, and I don't blame him. He about took his head off after he was out of bounds.
And that's very tough for us to see where exactly he was when he stepped out of bounds. There were 3 referees in the vicinity, no flag, and he is going to be very close to that first down. They're actually going to take a look at this. There's 22 seconds left.
They're going to measure, Steve.
Well, they're right by the marker.
We knew we were going to have a game like this when it started.
They are inches away. No, the officials are going to take a timeout. And they're going to measure this even though that ball is spotted about 2 inches from where the first down line is.
He went out of bounds.
Yeah, this may be the shortest distance the Six have had to move tonight. Clock is now down to 22 seconds. They stretch the chain, and they've got it by a nose.
Holy cow. So Center gets some new life, but what they don't have is very much time on the clock.
22 seconds. And they are on the 21-yard line. Clock will not start. Jabali, screen pass to the left. Bradford's got it. Jeremiah Bradford runs into his blocker and picks up about 7. The clock will continue to go down, and a timeout, the final timeout, is taken by the Center Cougars.
They're going to have to kick it now. They don't have a timeout to kill the clock. They either throw it into the end zone, but they don't have time for a running play. They're going to talk to the coach. We're going to find out right now if they've got a kicker.
And let's take a look at how we got to where we are now. Placer on their opening drive turned it over on downs. Center punted. Placer fumbled on their own 10-yard line. Center got a touchdown but had the extra point blocked. Placer answered back with a 36-yard field goal from Blake Van Dyke. Center was forced to punt. Placer got a touchdown on their last possession of the first half with an extra point, and Center threw up an interception with 10 seconds left in the first half. In the second half, Center opened up their drive with a touchdown and a 2-point conversion. Both teams traded punts. Placer got a touchdown and extra point. Center punted, Placer threw an interception, center punted, and Placer punted. 15 seconds remaining. The score is 17-14, Placer leads. Jabali looking right, throwing to the end zone. It's up and incomplete. 10 seconds left on the clock. That was intended for Jeremiah Bradford, who is looking around for an invisible flag. 10 seconds, center has enough time. It's 3rd and 4. They have enough time for one pass into the end zone.
And they will have the defense fading back into the end zone.
Ryan Robinson trying to get this crowd energized. Jabali.
There he is.
Throwing up the middle, incomplete.
And there's a flag.
Oh, I don't know about that. That looked like incidental contact to me. That looked like 2 players going for the ball.
I don't know, Steve. I think it was a little more blatant than that. I think it was pass interference. You had to say that that defender interfered with his opportunity to catch that ball.
Well, if he
we're going to look at it again here real quick, and
to me, this play looked like he was going up to try and catch that pass.
Now, why wouldn't they kick it unless they absolutely have no kicker? This is in extra point range, and they only have 6 seconds.
6 seconds.
They've got to kick this ball. And they're not going to. They're going to go for it.
This ball is spotted.
They don't have anybody they feel comfortable with.
On the 7-yard line.
This is it. Here's the season.
Placer takes timeout. Placer has to take a timeout here.
You know, and Joey Montoya may have just given the other coach the opportunity to change his mind and go for the extra, then go for the field goal.
Well, Randy Dunn is on the center sidelines. He's getting loose. He's practicing over there.
Diego Jabali, the coach for the Cougars, he has got to be thinking to himself, gosh, if I can just limp one over, we can tie this up and put this into some overtime. There will be a winner of this football game. This is a championship game, 2nd round. And we have got to have a winner to go to Stockton on Saturday.
The winner of this game almost certainly facing Manteca. And there will be no field goal here.
So
it's Jabali, Robbie Cannell in the backfield.
Here it is.
Looking to the right, throwing, has a man, incomplete. 1 second on the clock.
Good gravy.
And Paul, there looked like there was way more contact on that pass than on the
previous
on the pass interference. 1 second, and there will be no tie tonight.
Well, they've got a kicker on the sideline.
And he will remain on the sideline.
I don't know what that decision is. They're just going for it right now. Here it is. 1 second on the clock.
7 yards. If Placer stands, they go. Jabali looking left, throwing to the corner. Incomplete.
And that's the football game. The Placer Hillmen have won and will move on to the championship game for the 2nd year in a row. There they are in the middle of the field. The Placer Hillmen will defend their championship in 2016.
So, Paul, let's talk about player of the game.
Well, Steve, I've already made that choice for you, and I think you agree. It's going to be Morgan Rain Robinson.
Absolutely, number 22.
He not only played well on offense, he was the story of the game, but also on defense. He had that big sack, and we will go down on the field and hand that trophy to him momentarily. What a game. Everybody's on the field here at Placer High School.
So let's talk about Randy Dunn for a minute. He is the senior kicker for Center. Center scored 2 touchdowns tonight. No made extra points. Dunn kicked off a handful of times. They were all line drive kicks. They were not. They didn't have a whole lot of hang time on them. They were somewhat knuckleballed out there. Not great rotation, and you have to figure that Coach Jabali is watching these kicks and thinking, 1 second, it's going to be about a 24-yarder, 5 yards longer than an extra point. I mean, that's an extreme lack of faith in your kicker for a chip shot like that.
I know, and he may have been thinking that let's just finish it right now. If I go into overtime, if his kicker was to make the field goal and goes into overtime, he may not have an opportunity as good as this one. So let's finish it right here and now. This is a very strong Placer team. They've got a great defense. Let's see if we can get this touchdown and get out of here.
They did get a bit cut to pieces, though, on that last.
They did.
That last possession, especially through the air. Edmund Jabali, excellent vision. Managed to get a few pass interferences just to keep the ball moving, keep the clock stopped. Rolling out, getting some rushing yards to help him out. But in the end, it wasn't 1 point, it was 3. Still 2 meetings. And the final game here at Lefevre Stadium, Placer defeats the Center Cougars by a final score of 17-14. As the
Alma Mater.
Placer Alma Mater song is played by the band. We will head down on the field and present number 22, Morgan Rain Robinson, with the Bill Slayton Sons Trucking Player of the Game Award.
After the game here, after a stunning victory, the Placer Hillmen over the Center Cougars, we have the Bill Slayton Son Player of the Game. It was unanimous between Steve Sitter and I. Morgan Rain Robinson, congratulations, son. You had a heck of a football game, both on offense and defense. What's this mean to you that your team is now going to the championship for the 2nd year in a row?
Oh, it's great. I'm just so glad we got another week with my brothers. No one thought we could do this. No one thought we could go to the show starting a 1-4 preseason. But our team's a fight. We're fighters, and we like proving people wrong. And here we are. We're going to the section title game.
You felt like you had the momentum going from the very first quarter. You got the football. You ran it consistently. Did you feel it tonight? What was happening in your mind?
I was just looking for a win, another week. They called my name, and I did what I was supposed to do. My coach pulled me in for. It's great. It's great to run the ball for them and just do my part. A little part that is. It's just great to. I'm just so thankful. I'm so thankful for the fans. Just to have another week with my brothers. That's all I can say. I can repeat it.
Well, the story of the game, as far as Steve Sitter and I were concerned, was the fact that they could not stop Rain Robinson tonight. If they needed 3 yards, they gave it to this man right here, and deservedly, we gave him the Player of the Game award. What do you say, everybody, huh? Here's your man, Morgan Rain Robinson. Steve Sitter.
Just how big was Tosti? He hurt his ankle earlier in the game. Your name was getting called a little bit more often because of that. What was going through your mind when that happened so early?
Oh, I was just thinking we have people stepping up. When my name was called, I just do my little part. I'm a team effort man. Put one step of the way.
And this is the last game that's going to be played this year at Lefevre Stadium. On that final drive, I saw you getting the crowd pumped up. How big were they tonight?
Oh, there was absolutely – it shell-shocked that quarterback, and it was great. I'm so excited. The fans are perfect. The fans that never left us, never doubted us were great, just loud in the gold mine. So I just want to say a shout-out, thank you for –
Next Saturday, you're playing the number 1 seed Manteca. Presumably, they were up 14-0 at half. They're probably going to win that game. What's your game plan going into what is probably going to be the toughest game of the year?
We're just going to do the same thing we do. We go Monday. We know what their offense run. Work hard every day in practice. It's no other different team. If you looked at our preseason, that was a pretty hard preseason. We held our own. So it's going to be a great game. First team for second team or seed. It's going to be a great game.
Morgan, thank you very much. Congratulations on the Player of the Game award. Good luck next week. Morgan Ryan Robinson, our player of the game this week. And Paul, what are your thoughts on next Saturday?
You know, next Saturday is a real surprise to me. Actually, we don't know anything about who they're playing, but we do know that they'll be going to the championship game. A 5-5 team who got off to a really bad start early. We watched them mature. We watched all the players in this team grow, and now they're going back to the championship. Who would have thought? Certainly not me or you or Gil Dominguez.
Placer fans did.
The Placer fans did. We're going to go now and find Joey Montoya, and we'll have an interview there.
Thanks a lot, Paul and Steve. I'm over here with Coach Montoya. Joey, we were just here last week.
Yeah, we were just here, and luckily we're feeling good again.
Now, I just happened to be down in the Auburn area during the week, and I saw you guys out here practicing, and everybody was very excited.
Well, it's a semifinal game. You know, you're in the playoffs. You're deep into the season. You know, there's no other place you'd rather be, when you're in this thing. And our kids played their hearts out tonight for 48 minutes. We knew it was going to be a 48-minute war against this team, and very talented team. And our kids grinded out another win.
Now, coming down to the wire there, were you surprised that they didn't try to kick a field goal and tie it up when they were down there on the 6-yard line?
You know, it's one of those things. It's hit or miss. You know, you're on the road. It's a hostile environment. You got those two receivers that can really go up and get the football, and their quarterback puts the ball on the money. And fortunately for us, our kids made the play.
Well, just an incredible game here, and especially with the home fans. How loud do you think it was when they were all stomping on the bleachers? Did that have an effect to get the boys going?
Well, yeah, I mean, anytime your home crowd's into it, there's no doubt about it. It was a great atmosphere. It was electric out here, and our fans are always great as always, and our kids feed off it. And obviously, I didn't hear it. I was just more in the moment and saying my prayers, and luckily they were answered.
Well, it was timeout, and then another timeout, and then they had the holding penalty, which moved them back. That was huge right there in the final seconds.
Yeah, it was. You know, it was everything you want a semifinal game to be, and two league opponents that know each other really, really well, and obviously they've got some great talent. That team's, you know, they were 8-3 coming in this thing for a reason, and our kids just played their brains out.
Did you talk to the coach afterwards? What did he say?
Oh yeah, they were. You know, he said great. You know, good game. You know, both were gracious.
So now you move on to Manteca, and we assume it's going to be Manteca. They were ahead at halftime, and they're the #1 seed. Those things generally play themselves out in the right way. Lincoln of Stockton, how big is it to have the fans come down there and support you there?
Anytime you're playing for a section title, you know, you'd love to get as much support as possible. And this is a true David versus Goliath matchup for us. Manteca is one of the best teams in the section, and we have our hands full, but we're going to enjoy this one tonight. We're going to focus on Manteca next week.
And one of the best things about this is that you get to practice football on Thanksgiving Day.
It's the best practice of the year. You know, we've been fortunate around here to be able to do that several times, and I'm sure maybe some of the parents don't understand, but it really is. It's a special practice. Where you could remember, #1, if you're practicing, you're deep in the playoffs, and you get to really take some time with your team to remember what you should be thankful for.
Right, there's nothing like a Thanksgiving Day practice. Okay, Joey, well, listen, I'll let you go celebrate with your team. Once again, congratulations. And not only you and the team, but your entire coaching staff. People don't realize how many hours your coaches put in on every side of the ball and breaking down the plays and working with the boys. Just a tremendous amount of support from your coaches.
I'm truly blessed with one of the best staffs around. These guys put countless hours in. They're phenomenal for kids. They're some of my closest friends, and this community is very lucky to have these men working with their kids, and I'm so lucky to have them on my staff. And all of them played a huge role in this team's success, and the kids have bought into it since day one, and here we are going to the show.
That's right. Placer Hillmen going to the show next Saturday against Manteca. Lincoln of Stockton, be sure you're down there. We're going to be down there too. Joey, thanks a lot.
Thank you very much. It's great to be a Hillman.
Yes, it is. All right, guys, back to you.
So that will do it for us here at Touchdown Productions at Placer High School. Placer just fends off the Center Cougars for the second time this year, defeating them by a final score of 17-14, and we will see Placer next Saturday as they face Manteca, the #1 seed in Division 4, down at Lincoln of Stockton High School.
We'll be there. Executive producer, Gilbert M. Dominguez. Your announcers tonight's the incomparable Steve Sitter and Paul Brown. Lynn Dominguez is your general manager and the birthday girl tonight. Accounting by Cinto Graziano. So for Steve Sitter and Paul Brown, thanks for joining us tonight. Big win for Placer High School. We'll see you in Stockton next week. This has been TouchdownProductions.com.